Tom liked quiet mornings on Station 9. It was a small outpost floating near the edge of human space. Far from the busy cities of Earth, Tom worked as an engineer, fixing broken machines, checking air filters, and making sure the solar panels stayed clean. He liked it here. It was simple. Peaceful. Today was supposed to be a normal day. He was tightening a loose bolt on a solar wing when his communicator beeped in his ear. Tom said a voice, his boss, Clara, come to the landing pad. Now. Problem with the new cargo ship? He asked, brushing dust off his sleeves. No, Clara said. Something else. Just hurry. That didn't sound normal. Tom climbed down from the panel, walked through the long hallways of the station, and reached the main deck. As he stepped onto the landing pad, he stopped walking. His mouth stayed open for a few seconds. A Royal Narn shuttle stood in front of him, shining like silver glass. It was shaped like a long teardrop and carried the mark of the Narn Empire, one of the most powerful alien nations in the galaxy. No Narn ship had ever landed on Station 9 before, and standing next to the shuttle was someone taller than anyone on the station. A Narn woman. She stood at least 7 feet tall, with blue-gray skin that shimmered slightly in the light. She wore long robes covered in glowing thread, and her arms rested calmly by her sides. Her black eyes were calm, but sharp, like they could see through metal. Next to her was a guard, also Narn, in full armor. Clara stood nearby, looking confused and nervous. When she saw Tom, she waved him over quickly. She's here. For you, Clara whispered as he walked up. Tom blinked. Me? The Narn woman stepped forward. Her voice was deep and smooth. Are you Tom of Earth? She asked. Yeah, that's me. She gave a formal bow, bringing two arms across her chest. I am Princess Velai of Narn, daughter of the High Matron, she said. By the order of my mother, I have traveled across for star sectors to find you. Tom felt everyone on the landing pad staring. Why? He asked. Velai straightened and spoke clearly. Because I am to marry you. Silence. Total silence. Even the machines stopped beeping. Tom looked at Clara. Clara looked at Tom. One of the station workers dropped a tool. Someone coughed. I think I heard you wrong. Tom said finally. Did you say, marry? Yes, Velai said. My mother has chosen you? Tom tried not to laugh. It wasn't funny, really, but it also didn't make any sense. Princess Velai, Clara said carefully, stepping forward. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Tom is an engineer. He's not a leader or a diplomat. Velai nodded. That is why my mother chose him. Tom scratched his head. Okay, now I'm very confused. Velai's tone was calm, but firm. Our seers, those who study the future, have told us something important. Humanity will rise. One day, you will become more than you are now. You will change the galaxy. Tom blinked. You're saying humans will be powerful. You already are, Velai replied. Not in ships, not in weapons, but in how you think, in how you solve problems, and how you stand. Tom had no idea how to answer that. Velai continued. My mother wishes to make an early bond with your people, a connection. A marriage is a symbol of trust in our culture. Tom took a step back. But I've never even met you. This is true, Velai said. But bonds do not always begin with love. Sometimes they begin with duty, and sometimes they grow into something more. Clara pulled Tom aside. Tom, we need to talk. Please, he whispered. Tell me this is a prank. I wish it was. But the Narn don't joke like this. Their princess just walked into our station and asked for your hand. That's huge. I'm not ready to marry anyone, let alone an alien princess. I know, Clara said, lowering her voice. But if you say no, it might insult their empire. Badly. They've been peaceful with us so far. But we don't want to ruin that. Tom rubbed his face. So I'm supposed to say yes? Just like that? You have 3 days to decide. Velai said, hearing every word. That is our custom. Tom looked at her. She didn't seem angry or cold, just serious. She stood tall, her long robes flowing behind her like a flag in space wind. I don't understand, Tom said. Why me? I'm nobody. You are exactly what we need, Vilai said softly. The guard beside her motioned for her to step back. She nodded and returned to her shuttle, but not before saying, I will wait for your answer, Tom of Earth. The shuttle door closed behind her with a quiet hiss. Tom stood there, blinking, as the engines glowed blue and the ship slowly lifted into the air. It hovered just above the station waiting. He turned to Clara. Did I just get engaged to an alien? You've got 3 days to figure that out, Clara said, patting him on the shoulder. Good luck. Tom didn't sleep much that night. He sat in his room, looking at old photos from Earth's family. His college, the dusty farm he grew up on. All his life, he had chosen the quiet path. Now, the universe had other plans. He opened a message. File on his screen. There was a short note, sent directly from the Narn ship. Rest well, Tom. I will learn about your world while I wait. Tomorrow, we speak again. Valei stared at it for a long time. Outside, the stars blinked silently. He had no idea what tomorrow would bring. But for the first time in years, he was curious. Tom spent the next morning staring at his breakfast. His eggs were cold. His tea had no taste. His mind was stuck on one thing. A royal alien princess wants to marry me. He still wasn't sure how this was real. He was just Tom, an engineer who liked fixing things and being left alone. He didn't wear fancy clothes, didn't speak 5 languages, and definitely didn't know how to impress royalty. But outside the window, the Narn royal shuttle still floated quietly. Waiting for his answer, Clara stopped by his table in the cafeteria. You look like someone unplugged your brain, she said, sitting across from him. I still think this is a mistake, Tom said. They must have picked the wrong file. There are hundreds of smarter people out there. Clara shook her head. They knew who you were. She said your name like it was already written in her plans. Tom frowned. It just doesn't feel right. I didn't sign up for this. I know, she said gently. But the Narn are serious. Turning this down could cause problems with their empire. Big ones. Earth needs allies. So you're saying I have to say yes? I'm saying just talk to her. Get to know her. You have 3 days. Tom sighed. I don't know how to talk to a princess. Claire smiled. Just be you. That's what she came for. Remember? Later that day, Tom stood in the diplomatic meeting room, his hands in his pockets. The door slid open, and Princess Vilai entered. She was dressed differently today, less formal. Her robe was simpler, with soft green patterns and a belt that shimmered gently. Her long hair was tied back, and she held a thin tablet in one of her 4 hands. Good morning, Tom, she said. Morning, he replied, trying not to stare. She still looked like a queen from a storybook. I studied human customs last night, Vilai said. I watched something called cooking shows. I did not understand the importance of setting things on fire. Tom chuckled. Some people just enjoy drama in the kitchen. She tilted her head. Strange, but interesting. They sat across from each other. Vilai placed the tablet on the table. I thought we should speak without guards or formal rules today, she said. So you may ask freely. Thanks, Tom said, because I have a lot of questions. Vilai nodded. I am ready. He leaned forward. Why marriage? Why not just a treaty or trade deal? Vilai placed her hands on her lap and spoke. Calmly, in our culture, marriage between royal houses is the highest sign of peace. It means trust. Family, future. My mother believes that your people are more important than they realize. You are small now, but fast, creative, brave. She wanted a lasting link to your kind. Tom looked down. But why me? Because you are not a leader, Vilai said. Not a soldier. Not a person shaped by politics. You are simple, grounded. You fix what is broken. My mother believes a strong future begins with someone like that. Tom blinked. She chose me because I fix things? And because you are not pretending to be someone you're not, Vilai said. You speak plainly. That is rare. Tom rubbed the back of his neck. This is all happening too fast. It always feels that way before change, Vilai replied. But you still have time. Tom looked at her carefully. Do you want to do this? Or are you just following your mother's order? Vilai was quiet for a moment. I serve my people. She said softly, if I must marry to keep peace, I will. But I do not believe in empty bonds. That is why I came here to see you. Learn you? I do not want a lifeless agreement. Tom respected that. So, if I say yes, what happens? There will be 3 trials, Vilai explained. It is part of Naran tradition. We test our bonds before making them final. Trials, Tom raised an eyebrow. Like what? One of survival, one of understanding, and one of the heart. He blinked. That last one sounds difficult. Vilai gave a small smile. It is the most important. Tom leaned back in his chair. And if I say no, Vilai didn't answer right away, then I will return home. And my people may see your world as untrustworthy. It may close the door between us. I do not want that. But the choice is yours. She stood. Tomorrow, I will begin learning more about your station. I wish to understand how you live. May I walk with you? Tom hesitated, then nodded. All right, sure. I will meet you at sunrise, Vilai said. Then she left, robes flowing behind her. That night, Tom sat in his room again, thinking. She was strange, strong, honest. She didn't laugh easily. But she listened well, and she seemed to mean what she said. She could have acted like she was better than him, but she didn't. His screen lit up with a message. From Vilai's subject. A small question: is it true that coffee gives your people strength in the morning? If so, I would like to try it. Tom smiled. He sent a reply. I'll bring 2 mugs at sunrise. No promises, but it helps me survive Mondays. The next day began something new. Vilai joined Tom as he walked through the station. She asked questions about everything from how humans grow food in space to why the control panel buttons were color-coded. She tried her first cup of coffee and made a face. It is bitter. You get used to it, Tom said. Vilai watched as Tom helped a young crew member fix a stuck door. She noticed how he explained things kindly, step by step. She noticed how the others respected him, even if he wasn't their boss. Later, she said, you are not loud, but people listen. Tom shrugged. You don't have to shout when you do your job right. That made her pause and smile again. As they reached the observation deck, Vilai looked out at the stars. My world has more moons, but I like this view. Tom stood beside her. It's peaceful. Vilai turned to him. Tomorrow, we begin the first trial. Will you be ready? Tom took a deep breath. I don't know, but I'll try. That is enough, Vilai said. Outside, the stars watched quietly. 1 human, 1 alien, 2 lives slowly beginning to connect. And somewhere, far away, the High Matron waited for the answer only Tom could give. Tom stood in front of the airlock door, wearing a light spacesuit and holding a toolkit next to him. Princess Vilai checked her gear with calm hands. Her suit was different, sleek and shiny, with soft light around her collar. For arms, 1 for each task, moved smoothly as she adjusted straps and checked oxygen levels. They were about to begin the first trial. Vilai looked at him. Are you ready, Tom? He gave a nervous smile. As ready as I'll ever be. The airlock opened with a hiss, and the 2 stepped out onto Station 9's external shell, where the vacuum of space was cold, silent, and endless. Today's challenge was simple: survive and work together outside the station to repair a broken relay panel. But it wasn't about the fix, it was about trust. The walk along the metal surface was slow. Magnetic boots clicked softly as they moved. Above them, stars stretched forever. Below, Earth's moon shimmered in the distance. Vilai glanced at Tom. Your people are not made for space. Yet you walk here with calm steps. We adapt. Tom replied, it's kind of our thing. Impressive, she said. They reached the damaged panel. A small power burst had melted part of the wiring. It wasn't dangerous, but left alone, it could affect oxygen flow to one of the dorms. Tom knelt beside the panel and opened it. This might take a while. Vilai lowered herself beside him. Tell me what to do. He blinked. You want to help? This is a trial of survival, is it not? She said. We survive best when we work as one. Tom handed her a small tool. All right then, let's fix it. The next are passed in silence and teamwork. Tom explained each step, and Velai followed quickly. She asked smart questions, learning fast. Her hand steady and careful helped guide wires through narrow channels. At one point, a small screw floated away, and Velai caught it midair with a quiet smile. You've done this before? Tom asked. I once rebuilt a power chamber during training, she replied. But never beside a human, he chuckled. We're not that different. Perhaps not. Finally, the panel lights turned green. Power restored. Well done, Velai said. Tom gave a small fist pump. That's one win for team. Whatever we are. Team trial, she offered. Tom laughed. Not bad. As they walked back toward the airlock, something unexpected happened. An alert flashed on Tom's visor. Wait, there's movement near Solar Wing 3. Could be loose debris. Suddenly, a small piece of metal shaped like a long blade shot past them. Velai ducked fast. That was close. Tom narrowed his eyes. That wasn't debris. That was a panel shard. It came from inside the outer wall. They looked toward the solar wing. A soft glow flickered. Something was wrong. We need to check it, Tom said. Velai nodded without hesitation. Lead the way. They moved quickly across the outer frame of the station. Boots thumping softly. Smoke drifted from a cracked power. No, Tom gasped. That's not from the relay system. Someone cut through that shield. Sabotage? Velai asked. Looks like it. But why now? She looked at him with a serious gaze. Because your answer matters. And someone does not want peace between us. Tom quickly worked to seal the hole with a patch from his kit. This could have caused an explosion. Someone wanted to make it look like we failed. Velai handed him tools, speaking firmly. Then we will not let them win. Together, they finished the patch and activated the cooling system. The glow faded. The danger passed. Velai turned to Tom. You saved the station. So did you, he said. A soft silence settled between them. Then Velai spoke quietly. First, trial is complete. Back inside the station, the crew gathered to hear what happened. Clara looked worried. Sabotage? Are you sure? Tom nodded. Yes, and it wasn't random. Someone targeted the trial. Velai stood beside him. We will stay alert. But for now, the trial was a success. We worked together. We protected life. Tom added. We made a good team. Clara smiled slightly. I think you're surprising everyone, Tom. He scratched his head. I'm surprising myself. The next morning brought trial 2, understanding. This one didn't require tools or suits. Instead, Tom and Velai sat in a quiet chamber, facing a large glowing sphere. It was a memory field, a Naran device that allowed people to share thoughts, feelings, and moments from their lives. It's like opening a book, Velai explained. Only the pages are your heart. Tom swallowed hard. Sounds personal. It is. But important. You cannot trust someone until you've seen their pain. Tom looked at her. Are you sure you want to see mine? Velai nodded. Yes. She placed her hand on the sphere. Tom did the same. The room shimmered. Suddenly, Velai saw Tom's past, a boy running through wheat fields, a small home filled with laughter, a father who taught him how to fix engines, a mother who told stories under the stars. Then the loss, his father's illness, the funeral. Tom, alone in college, trying to stay strong. She felt his sadness, his hope, his quiet strength. When it ended, Velai stepped back, her face soft. You carry sorrow, but you never let it break you. Tom smiled faintly. I guess I just keep going. Then it was her turn. Tom saw her memories. A palace of crystal towers. Endless lessons in diplomacy and language. Velai always watched, always judged. A young girl wishing for freedom. He saw her kneeling beside a dying guard, her mentor during a border conflict. Felt her silent tears. Saw her rise, choosing duty over dreams. When it ended, Tom looked at her with new respect. You were never just a princess, he said. You're a fighter. I must be, Velai whispered. For my people, for peace. They left the chamber quietly. No words were needed. They had seen each other not with eyes, but with heart. Later that evening, Tom stood with Vilai on the observation deck again. The stars stretched endlessly above them. You did well in the trials. Vilai said softly. So did you, Tom replied. One trial remains, she said. The hardest one. Tom looked at her. The heart, Vilai nodded. To see if this bond can grow into something real. Tom didn't answer right away. But this time, he didn't feel unsure. Instead, he felt something warm. He was beginning to understand her. And maybe, just maybe, she was beginning to understand him too. Tom woke up to alarms. A loud beep echoed through the station hallways, followed by a voice from the speakers. Warning, power fluctuation in Sector 3. Emergency systems activated. Tom jumped out of bed, pulled on his station suit, and ran toward the engineering bay. His heart beat fast, not just from the alarm, but from worry. Sector 3 was where the life support systems were kept. If those failed, it could put lives in danger. As he ran, more crew members joined him. Rushing through the narrow halls, he reached the control panel and started checking data. Vilai arrived seconds later, already dressed in a Naran field suit. Her eyes scanned the screens. What happened? She asked. Power loss in Sector 3, Tom said, fingers flying over the controls. The backup system kicked in, but something's off. The main power line wasn't just damaged, it was cut. Vilai looked sharply at him. Cut? On purpose? Tom nodded slowly. This wasn't an accident. They rushed to Sector 3 together. Inside, the air felt too warm. The oxygen flow was lower than normal. Lights flickered above them. Tom knelt beside the main unit and opened the access panel. His eyes narrowed. A sharp metal tool was still jammed inside the wiring, a tool not used by humans. Vilai bent down beside him. That is Naran made. He looked at her. Someone from your team. Vilai's voice grew cold. No one from my crew would act without my order. But not everyone in the Empire agrees with this union. Tom stood. You think this was done to stop the marriage? She nodded. Yes, a message to you, or perhaps a warning. Tom crossed his arms. Someone tried to destroy a life support system just to scare us. Vilai looked him in the eye. In our world, power struggles are quiet, but dangerous. Clara entered the room with 2 security officers. We've sealed off the area. No one enters or leaves until we find who did this. Tom held up the metal tool. This was left behind. Vilai took the tool carefully. This mark. It belongs to Commander Rollo. He is part of my guard. Clara's eyes widened. He's on your shuttle. Right? Yes, Vilai said. But if he did this, he acted alone. I will speak to him. Tom placed a hand on her arm. Be careful. Vilai nodded. Always. Back on the royal shuttle, Vilai entered the command chamber. Her guard commander, Rollo, stood by the window, watching the stars. Rollo, Vilai said calmly, we need to speak. He turned slowly. His face showed no surprise. You found the tool. Yes, she replied. It was your mark. He did not deny it. Your mother is wise, but this path is foolish. We do not need the humans. They are untested, emotional to unpredictable. They are also brave, kind, and clever, Vilai said. You seen it. Raul looked away. I saw weakness. They do not deserve to stand beside us. You tried to damage their station, Vilai said. Voice low and firm. You risked lives to protect our honor, he said. And yours. Vilai stepped forward. No, you acted in pride, not protection. And for that, you are dismissed. Raul's eyes widened. Princess, you are no longer my guard, Vilai said. Return home in silence. Raul lowered his head, then walked away without another word. Vilai stood there a moment longer, then sent a message to Station 9. The one responsible has been removed. The danger is over. Later that evening, Tom and Vilai stood in the observation room. Again, the station lights were steady now. No more alarms. The crew had returned to their tasks. But Tom couldn't stop thinking about what happened. He could have killed someone, Tom said quietly. Yes, Vilai replied. I am sorry. You don't need to apologize. You didn't do it. But he was under my command, and my culture, that makes me responsible. Tom looked at her. Then I guess you just showed me something important. What is that? That you're willing to stand up even against your own people when something's wrong. Vilai was quiet for a moment. It was not easy. I know, Tom said. That's why it matters. She turned toward him. Tomorrow is the final trial. The one about the heart, he said softly. Vilai nodded. Yes, and it will not involve tools, wires, or danger. Just one question. Tom raised an eyebrow. Only one? She gave a small smile. Yes, but it will be the hardest. The next morning, Tom walked into the garden room, a space filled with earth plants and quiet air. The sun lamp above glowed gently, casting soft light across the leaves. Vilai stood, waiting. She was dressed in a blend of both cultures, Narn silk wrapped with a simple earth-made jacket over her shoulders. Her dark eyes met his. He smiled. Nice mix. I wish to wear something that shows both of us. She said, May I ask the question now? Tom nodded. I stepped closer. After all the trials, after danger, teamwork, memories, and understanding, I ask you this, Tom of Earth, can this bond become something more? Not for duty, not for peace, but for something real. Tom was silent for a moment. He remembered their first meeting, the confusion, the fear. He remembered fixing the panel together, sharing memories, standing side by side during danger. Her honesty, her strength, her calm. Then he spoke. I don't know where this path leads, he said, but I do know one thing. I'm not saying yes because I have to. I'm saying yes because I want to. Vilai's face lit up with a calm warmth. No trial could give a better answer. She said, outside the station window, stars blinked quietly. The crew cheered when they heard the news. And far across the galaxy, in the crystal halls of the Narn Empire, the High Matron smiled. Her daughter had done more than follow orders. She had found her match. The news spread fast across the station. The High Matron of Narn was coming. It was hard to explain just how big this was. The High Matron wasn't just a queen or leader. She was the voice of the Empire, ruler of dozens of planets, and mother to Princess Vilai. She had sent Vilai to marry a human. Now she was coming to see if her daughter had made the right choice. Tom stood by the large window on dock platform 1. His hands were in his pockets. He watched the stars, waiting. Still calm, Clara asked, walking up behind him. No. Tom replied with a tired smile. Just pretending. Clara chuckled. You faced space storms, sabotage, and Narn trials. You can handle one. Visit, she's an empress, Tom said, and my future mother-in-law. That too, Clara said. Try not to faint. An hour later, the Narn royal ship appeared. It was huge, 10 times larger than Vilai's shuttle. It looked like a flying cathedral, made of dark silver and glowing stone. It moved slowly, like a mountain in the sky. The station crew lined up for her arrival. Tom stood next to Vilai. She looked calm, but her hands were folded tightly. Are you nervous? Tom asked. I nodded once. She is not easy to please. Tom straightened his jacket. Great, neither am I. Vilai gave him a small smile. The ship docked. The gates opened. The High Matron of Narn stepped onto the station. She was tall like Vilai, even older, with silver markings along her temples. Her robe was long, made of silk and metal thread, and it shimmered as she walked. 4 guards followed behind her. Her face was calm but sharp, like someone who missed nothing. Her eyes landed on Tom. This is him, she said to Vilai. Yes, Mother, Vilai replied with a respectful bow. Tom stepped forward and gave a short nod. Tom of Earth, engineer, technician, and her future son-in-law, I guess. The High Matron raised one eyebrow. You are very casual. I'm not a prince or a diplomat, Tom said. But I'm honest. That's what your daughter liked about me. The guards looked tense. Clara looked worried. But the matron didn't get angry. She studied him closely, then gave a short nod. Walk with me. They walked through the station halls. Just the two of them. Tom kept his hands folded behind his back. I've read the reports. The matron said, you saved my daughter during a system breach. She saved me too, Tom said. She fixed the power line while I sealed The leak, and you passed the trials. Yes, barely, Tom said with a chuckle. The matron gave a quiet hum. I expected someone more polished. Tom stopped walking. I get that, he said. But polish doesn't fix engines, or calm a frightened crew, or talk straight when things go wrong. The matron turned to him. You speak boldly. I speak the truth, Tom replied, because that's all I've got. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, your people are loud, quick, emotional. Tom nodded. True. But we learn fast. We try hard. And we care. You are still young as a species. Yes. But we're not blind. We know we have more to learn. That's why this marriage matters. We're not looking to take over. We're looking to grow together. The matron stared at him. Do you love my daughter? Tom didn't answer right away. He looked out a window toward the stars. I respect her. I trust her. I've learned more from her in a few days than from most people in years. I think love is growing, and it's real. The matron gave a quiet sigh. You remind me of someone, she said. Your kind has a fire I haven't seen in centuries. She turned to walk again. Come, there's one more test. Later that evening, the station's main hall was prepared for a small ceremony. Not a wedding, but a final meeting between both cultures. Velai wore traditional Narn robes, but over her shoulder was a fabric from Earth, a simple jacket made by Tom. Using a patch from his first work uniform, Tom wore a clean formal suit with a thin glowing band around his arm, the symbol of a Narn bond. Representatives from both sides stood in a circle. The High Matron stepped into the center. In the presence of two peoples, she said, we ask one final question. She looked at Velai. Do you choose him not for duty but for truth? Velai stepped forward. Yes, I choose him because he brings peace not with power, but with heart. The matron turned to Tom. And do you, Tom of Earth, accept this bond? As one of equal path and shared future, Tom looked at Velai. He didn't see an alien anymore. He saw someone brave, smart, kind, and steady. Yes, he said. And not because I have to, but because I believe in what we can build together. A soft light lit the center of the hall. To symbols one Earth's, one Narn S appeared. Floating and joined, the crowd clapped, quietly at first, then louder after the ceremony. Tom and Velai stood on the viewing deck, alone. The stars outside blinked peacefully. You face my mother, Velai said. Not many do that and survive. Tom laughed. She's strong. I respect her. She respects you too, Velai said. Even if she didn't say it out loud. Tom looked at Velai. You've changed since you arrived. So have you, she said. They stood quietly for a while. Then Velai spoke again. We are not yet married. That comes next. But the bond has begun. Tom nodded. And I think it's going to be something amazing. They didn't need grand speeches or fancy promises. Just a simple moment, shared under the stars. And that was enough. The day of the wedding arrived. The station was decorated with flowers from Earth and glowing crystal blossoms from Narn. Bright colors filled the halls, and soft music played from hidden speakers. The entire crew was invited, as well as representatives from many worlds. Tom stood in his formal suit. His heart was pounding, but he smiled as Velai approached. She wore a dress that combined her culture's elegance with simple Earth-designed soft fabric that moved like water. Ready? Tom asked quietly. Velai nodded. I have never been more ready. They walked together toward the ceremony room. Along the way, people stopped to offer smiles and good wishes. Even Claire gave Tom a thumbs up. The ceremony room was a large, circular space filled with light from above. In the center was a platform shaped like two interlocking rings. Glowing softly. At the front stood the High Matron, regal and calm. Beside her was a Narn elder who would perform the ritual. The ceremony began. The elder spoke words neither Tom nor Velai fully understood, but the meaning was clear. This was a union not only between two people, but between two worlds. Tom looked at Velai. Her eyes shone with calm strength. He reached out and took her hand. The High Matron's voice rose. By the powers of the stars and the bonds of life, I declare this union, The rings glowed as they were placed on Tom's and Vilai's fingers. Suddenly, the room flickered. Lights dimmed. The soft music stopped. An alarm rang out. The crowd gasped. Tom instinctively pulled Vilai close. Clara rushed to a console and shouted, "Security breach in Sector 5. Unknown ship approaching fast." The Narn guards moved quickly, their weapons drawn. Tom and Vilai exchanged worried looks. The High Matron's calm face hardened. "This is no accident." The unknown ship appeared on the main screen. It was small but fast, with dark markings that no one recognized. "Enemy?" Vilai asked. "Unknown," said Clara. "But they are closing in." Suddenly, the station shook violently. Impact on the hull. A voice announced. The station trembled again. Tom grabbed Vilai's arm. "We need to find the source." The High Matron ordered. "All able must prepare for defense. Tom, you and Vilai come with me." They ran through the station corridors toward the control center. The unknown ship had fired something, a pulse that disrupted systems. Lights flickered, and gravity shifted for a moment. In the control room, the crew worked to stabilize the station. Tom and Vilai stood beside the High Matron, watching the screens. The attacker's ship was moving unpredictably, trying to find a weak spot. Vilai's voice was firm. "We must stop them before they do more damage." Tom looked around. "How?" Clara pointed to the weapons control panel. "Our defenses are basic, but we can fire if we get a clear shot." Tom nodded. "Then let's give them a clear shot." Tom moved quickly to the weapons station. Vilai stayed close, watching his every move. His hands worked over the controls, guided by his knowledge of engineering and instinct. "Target locked," Tom said. "Firing in 3, 2, 1. A pulse of energy shot from the station's turrets. The unknown ship shuddered as the beam hit it. It spun away, engines damaged. The alarm stopped. The station was safe. The High Matron exhaled slowly. "You have done well, Tom," she said. Vilai smiled softly. Together, Tom looked at Vilai. "We make a good team." Suddenly, a message came through on the station's comm. It was a voice, slow and mechanical. "Princess Vilai," it said, "you may have won this battle, but the war is not over. Beware those closest to you." The line went dead. The room fell silent. Tom and Vilai exchanged uneasy glances. The High Matron's expression darkened. This was no random attack. Someone wants to stop this union. By any means. Tom clenched his fists. "Then we won't let them." Vilai's eyes burned with determination. "No matter what comes, I will stand with him." The High Matron nodded. "Good, because the future depends on it." That night, after the ceremony, Tom and Vilai stood on the observation deck. The stars seemed calmer now. Vilai spoke softly. "Do you think we are ready for what's coming?" Tom took her hand. "I don't know, but I know we face it together." Vilai smiled. "That makes me strong." Tom looked out at the stars. "Our story is just beginning." The days after the attack passed quickly. The station returned to normal, but an uneasy feeling stayed in the air. Tom and Vilai worked side by side, planning new defenses and improving systems. The crew respected their courage and unity, but the warning from the mysterious voice echoed in their minds. One evening, Tom was in the engineering bay, fixing a power regulator, when Vilai entered quietly. "We need to talk," she said softly. Tom wiped his hands and followed her to the observation deck. The stars outside were bright and clear. Vilai looked at him. "The attack was a message, but I believe there is someone inside the Empire who wants this marriage to fail." Tom frowned. "An enemy within." "Yes," Vilai said. "Someone powerful, who fears change. Someone who wants to keep the old ways." Tom nodded. "Then we need to find out who." Vilai took his hand. Together. The next day, the High Matron called a meeting. The room was filled with important leaders from Narn and Earth allies. She spoke clearly. "We must unite to protect this alliance. Division only weakens us." Tom stood and addressed the group. "We have seen what fear and hate can do, but we have also seen what trust and courage can build." Vilai stepped forward. "Our future depends on cooperation, not suspicion. We must open our hearts." The leaders listened carefully. Some nodded. Others looked uncertain. The High Matron smiled slightly. Then let this be the start of a new chapter. Weeks passed. Tom and Vilai's bond grew stronger. They shared stories, hopes, and dreams. Tom taught Vilai about Earth's music and simple pleasures. Vilai showed Tom the beauty of Narn art and traditions. Their love was quiet but powerful, a symbol of two worlds joining. One day, while walking through the station garden, Vilai stopped and looked up at the sky. "Do you remember the first day you came here?" she asked. Tom smiled, nervous, confused, and maybe a little scared. Vilai laughed softly. "You were brave. So were you?" They stood together, watching the stars twinkle. "I think my mother was right," Tom said. "This marriage, it's more than duty. It's hope," Vilai said. Then, a surprise came. The High Matron sent a message inviting Tom and Vilai to visit the Narn homeworld. The heart of the Empire. It was a chance to meet the people, learn more, and show that their bond was strong. The journey to the Narn homeworld was breathtaking. Towering cities of crystal and light stretched to the sky. People greeted them with smiles and open arms. Tom felt honored but also humble. Vilai introduced him to her family and friends. Her mother spoke kindly. "You have proven yourself worthy." Tom bowed. "I'm grateful." During the celebrations, a small ceremony was held. Tom and Vilai stood before the people. The High Matron spoke. "Let this union be a symbol, a promise that together we face the future stronger and united." The crowd cheered. Tom looked at Vilai and smiled. She squeezed his hand. As they looked toward the stars, Tom thought of Earth and all the challenges ahead. But with Vilai beside him, he knew they could overcome anything. Their story was just beginning. Together. The end.